Okay, thank you a lot, Summer. As I said, it's my pleasure to be here today. And as Ron stated, talking about skills is really important, not only reading. So let's get it started. Okay, as we know, there are two kinds of skills in all languages, not only English. So I'm expecting you guys to write in the chat box or type in the chat box. What are the skills of any language, English and others? Okay, I mean the skills, yes, Red, amazing, productive skills, Tehani, receptive and productive, that's amazing, that's right. That's what I meant, yes, we have productive skills, receptive first, and then productive, because we receive the skill, and then after that, we're gonna produce the language. Okay, now let me ask you about the receptive skills. We also have two receptive skills. If you can type that in the chat box, the two receptive skills in any language or English. Perfect, I am, yeah. Yes, good, yes. So yeah, they are reading and listening. So the receptive skills of any language, English or any other language, we're concerned with English, of course, reading and listening. Okay, let me ask you about the two productive skills now. The productive ones. Yes, I am is very active. And Emmanuel, mashallah. Dina, nice to see you, Dina. Yeah, the productive skills of a language are writing and speaking, or speaking and writing. So we have in total 4 skills in any language, including English. Reading and listening, they are receptive, and writing and speaking, they are productive. But my title is improving reading skills. So why am I asking you about these kinds of skills, do you think? Why am I asking about all these skills? Can you guess and write in the chat box? The title of my session is improving reading skills. So why I started with talking about all the skills, the productive and the receptive. Reading is very important. Yeah, sure. Okay, actually, I started with this introduction because we never teach a skill in isolation. We never do that. Yeah, there may be a main aim or main target or objective of the lesson, which is reading, but we have to include other kinds of skills. So here is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna walk through a reading lesson in which I will act as a teacher and you will respond as a student, okay? And then we're gonna analyze what we did through this reading lesson, okay? So let's get started. Now you can see 4 pictures on the screen. Try to find out the things in common between the 4 pictures. And please give me your feedback in the chat box. The common things between the 4 pictures. What do they have in common? Okay. People having fun, maybe, yeah. Hobbies or favorite activities, maybe. Fun, singing, okay. So let me make it easier. What kind of artistic work is this? Okay, is it like a film or? Yes, amazing, Tehani, yeah. As if she prepared the presentation with me. Yes, they are advertisements. So we have 4 pictures of advertisements. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you a very short video. It's a kind of advertisement. And please, after you watch the video, I'm supposed to give you some time to talk in groups about what makes it an attractive advertisement. But we're gonna skip this. You're gonna write in the chat box what makes this advertisement amazing, eye-catching, whatever. So let's go and see the short video. Now, this is, of course, a kind of advertisement. So what makes it attractive? It has two legends and favorite figures for larger groups of people. Yes, it has. Yes, it does. Very good. Okay, what else makes this advertisement eye-catching? Celebrities. Excellent, Emmanuel. Yeah, that's right. They're all celebrities. Okay, something else makes this advertisement eye-catching or attractive. Of course, I don't want to say, I want you to say the product itself, which is Pepsi, yeah, good. Football players, all loved by everyone, yes. The brand itself, excellent, Iman, popular person, and the sound effects, the graphics or the resolution of the picture, yeah. So now we watched 4 pictures of advertisements, and then we watched a short advertisement. So if we're going to read about something now, we're going to read about what do you think? Thank you. Yes, Tahani, the most active person today. Yes, we're going to read about advertisements. Of course, no, not football, advertisements in general. Okay, so let's move on to the next task. Okay, now I'm going to read 3 reviews about different adverts. 3 reviews about different adverts. What are the products advertised in these 3 reviews? Okay, I'm supposed to give you some time to read alone, and then you go to separate group. We're going to skip this. I'm going to show you the reviews and then collect the data or the feedback from the chat box. So let me show you the reviews, and then you have to answer my questions. So let's see. You have a minute to read. Okay, I suppose that it's enough time. Is it? If it's enough, please tell me in the chat box. What are the 3 brands or things advertised? The 3 products. Waiting. So it's not enough time. 1 more minute. Yes, Emmanuel, mashallah, fast. Okay. Not really, but thank you for the effort. I know it's a long piece of reading. Okay, so I'm expecting your answers now. What are the 3 products advertised? Only Emmanuel answered my question. Yeah, Tahani again, car, drink, washing powder. Okay, thank you, Jihad. Thank you, Hayam. Okay, so let's check or compare our answers with the teachers. Okay, these are the 3 advertised products. Yes, cars, but what cars? Ford cars, and a soft drink and washing powder. Okay, so these are the 3 advertised products. Now, I noticed that many of my students didn't get the answer, so I'll get back again to the text itself, and highlight the products on the text. Okay, so just a minute. Yes, this is the first product. I'll show my students like this, the Ford car. Okay, and then number 2, I'll read like this and show my students that the advertisement is about soft drink. Okay, and we move to the 3rd one. I'll show them that it's about a washing powder. Now I made it easy for my learners to see the answers or get them within the text, because some of my students had difficulties in getting the answers. Okay, so this was our first reading task. Let's move to some words that might have been challenging in these advertisements and these reviews about advertisements. The words are on the left: persuasive, humorous, exotic, and irritating. Under every word, you will see an example, okay, to make it easy to understand the word. And on the right side of the screen, there are 4 definitions. So what I want you to do now is to try to match every word to its definition. So I'll give you 1 more minute, 2 more minutes to read the word, the example, and match it to the definition, okay? And then we check the answers. I is very fast. Good. Emmanuel is very fast too. Okay, Jihad. That's good. Good, Hasna, Alawari. Jihad, thank you. Okay. So again, now I suppose that I asked my students to do this and they did it individually, and then I allow them some time to compare their answers, but we're going to skip this. And now let's check the students' answers with the teachers. Persuasive. Look, he said he's persuasive. He made me buy this product. So I think the answer for this, yeah, it's letter C, as you said. Okay. Humorous. I like humorous advertisements. They make me laugh. So humorous means letter D, funny. Exotic. This advertisement was set in an exotic location. I liked it. So it's something good. So it's letter A. And irritating. The example said this advertisement is so irritating. I don't like it at all. So it means letter B. Okay. While monitoring, my students will notice if all of them got the answers correctly or not. If they have some problems, we're gonna CCQ the word. If they got the answers correctly, all of them, so no need to CCQ, ask checking comprehension questions, okay? Like, for example, someone made a mistake in the word exotic. So I'm gonna ask them, I'll read first the example, like this advertisement was said in an exotic location. I liked it. So I liked it. So do you think this is something interesting or disgusting, for example? They're going to say interesting. Okay, is it familiar or not familiar? It's not familiar, and so on, until I make sure that they get the meaning. Okay. Okay, so now we're done with the second task. Now, I want you to read again. Now I'm acting as a teacher, of course, and your students read again and answer the following questions accordingly. Before I show you the text, I want you to get yourself familiarized with these questions. Please have a look at them, the questions. Okay, so after reading the questions, now you're gonna read the text to get the answers, okay? Let's see the text again. I'll give you 2 minutes to answer these questions. Very good, Hasnet. Thanks a lot, Tahani. That's kind. We're very active today. Okay, I'll pretend that you took your time, you answered the questions individually, and I gave you some time to check your answers with your group. So now, yes, we're going to talk about this in detail. We're going to talk about what we did in detail. Now, now, after you answered the questions and checked with your peers, let me show you the answers to check your answers with the teachers, okay? So, the Ford brand was advertised. Did the writer enjoy the advert? Yes, they did. What adjectives did the writer use to describe the advert? Eye-catching, attention-grabbing, creative, catchy, recognizable, effective, and persuasive. Again, while monitoring your students, this is a very important part. If you see that some students have a problem with a certain question, like the second one, for example, did the writer enjoy the advert? So if they found a difficulty in this question, you go back to the text again and highlight the answer within the text, okay? Look, I'll show them the answer like this, my students, if they have a difficulty. I'm gonna say that the speaker said that he remembers the eye-catching adverts. So if it's something that you describe as eye-catching, so you enjoyed it or not, of course, you enjoyed it, okay? Because this is a positive adjective. So he liked it. So this is the answer for the question that was challenging for you. Did the writer enjoy the advert? Yes, they did. Okay, so now we're done with the reading part of my lesson. What are we supposed to do now? Okay, in groups, everyone will tell their partners about the most appealing, the most eye-catching, and the least attractive advertisements they have ever watched. Okay. Mention no fewer than 2 reasons for each advert. So after telling my students the instructions, I'm going to ask you. So we're going to talk in pairs. They're going to say no. In groups. Okay. We're going to talk about one thing. They would say no. 2 things. The most appealing advertisement and the least attractive one. Like a very good one, a very bad one. And mention no fewer than 2 reasons why you liked this advertisement and why you didn't like the other. So I'll ask Ron if you can break them into groups, please, because this is very important. Hello, Summer?
Yes.
Summer?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to make groups, break them out in groups of 4
Okay.
for 3 minutes, please, to speak about this.
So you want to create 4 groups?
Groups of 4 members for 3 minutes.
For 3 minutes.
Yeah, please.
Samra, are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, I gave you some pictures in case you can't remember any advertisements, guys. Here are some funny advertisements and very, very disgusting ones to help you if you can't remember the good and bad advertisements. You
Okay,
can talk
so
about this.
now I'm going to divide them into groups.
We're ready, yes.
Okay.
Hello, Summer.
Yes.
Yeah, can we stop the rooms, please?
Okay.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay, I assume that everyone is back now. I visited some rooms which were very silent. I don't know why. Anyway, what we did today, they're still joining, okay? Okay.
Johnny, are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm looking for my partner.
Okay.
Johnny, are you there? Get your voice on.
Tahani's here. Yes, she wrote yes. Okay. Anyway, what we did today, we started by this activity, which is, as you see, it's like, who can tell me what kind of activity? What do we call this? What step of the session is this? If you can help me in the chat box, what's this? I mean this on the screen, the thing on the screen. I didn't share the screen, I shared it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Yes, Jihad, she said a lead in. Okay, a lead in. This is a kind of lead in to start my session and attract the attention of my students. Okay, so this is very important. As you saw, I chose something which seems funny for a lot of people. Yeah, all these advertisements look funny. Okay, so this was the first thing. And the purpose is, as I said, to attract the attention. And then I show you this video. And this video was kind of, someone will tell me, or I'm going to say, this video is a kind of, yes, the purpose is engagement, yes, but we call this stage or this step of the lesson setting the context. Yeah, right, procedure, okay, but it was not breaking the ice actually, but I started my class after the lead and I moved to setting the context. I'm telling my friends or my students that I'm gonna talk about advertisements. As you saw, after you watched this video, I asked you, we're gonna read about what? So you said, most of you said advertisements. How did you know? Because I set my context through this video and the pictures. And by the way, I can use only one thing of them, either the video or the picture for the lead in and setting the context, because both talk about advertisements, okay? So you can use two separate steps like lead in and then setting the context, or make them in one step if you want. It's up to you, it's up to your time. After that, I showed you this question before I show you the text. So this is very important. While giving instructions, you give the instructions before the text. You give task before text. Task, what they're gonna do before the material. Why? Can you tell me why we give the task before the material? As Nat said, otherwise learners will get distracted. This is Emmanuel. Okay, that's right. Yes. If you give them the material and then you start giving them the instructions, they will be distracted. They will not concentrate with you and your instructions. So yes, we give them first the task or the question, and then we give them the material to start doing the instructions. That's what we did, okay? And of course, after we do this and we set the time for the students, we say, like, for example, you have a minute, like I did. You have a minute, you have 2 minutes to do this. And then you move to check the answers or let them compare their answers with yours. And if you noticed, when I said, please write in the chat box the answers, I found that only 1 or 2 people wrote. So what did I do? I showed you the answers, or what did I do? An extra minute. Excellent, Emmanuel. Why? Because you have to be responsive to your students. Maybe the time you allocated for this task is not enough. So if it's not enough, and most of students didn't finish the task, and if you show them the answer, so the next task they'll not start working with you. Why? Because you don't give them enough time to think. Yes, and we should allow time for more interaction. Excellent, Dina, yes. But we skip this not to make the teachers bored. Okay. Okay, after this, by the way, this question or this first reading task, what do we call it? The first reading task, when I asked you this question. Yes, excellent, Haya. I mean the question like the question that you see. Yeah, Haya said it. Haya Sami said it's a just reading. Just reading, it means like to read, to get the general idea of the text. It's advertising 1, 2, 3 things. That's the just reading. And we should start the first activity of the reading process as just reading. The main idea, yes. Okay, after that, we have to clarify the blocking vocabulary. And this is not a vocabulary lesson, so I don't give much time to this. I have to make it clear for students the meaning of these words, but I don't need to take much time. And as you noticed, why did I write the word and the example? Why do you think I did this? I wrote the word, the blocking word, and an example. And then I asked you to guess the meaning and match it. Why did I do this? Why did I provide you with examples? To illustrate, yes. Guessing from the context, excellent, yes. Because I don't want to increase the students' talking time. I want the students themselves to guess and get the meaning. So how can they do that? This is blocking vocabulary, so they don't understand it. So I'm gonna put it, as you saw, in examples to make it clear to guess, okay? Yes, before the scanning or the skimming, to give them idea how to guess the meaning. And then they're gonna answer, and I allow some time to check with their peers, and then I'm gonna show them the answer, and then if they have mistakes, we're gonna clarify the target word. And by the way, can I ask you a question? The blocking vocabulary, do you think the maximum number of blocking vocabulary is, of course, it's not about math, but as I said, this is a reading session, it's not a vocabulary session. So the maximum number for the blocking vocabulary is, how many words? Can you help me? No? Okay, it shouldn't exceed 5 or 6 maximum words. Yes, much less than 10. Yeah, 5 or 6 words. Okay, someone will tell me, teacher, maybe the text has more than 6 blocking vocabulary. So in this case, This means if I have a lot of vocabulary, much blocking vocabulary, this means the text is not suitable for my students. Okay, so I have to choose the text that suits my students' level. Because if I choose a text that has a lot of blocking vocabulary, so it's going to be a vocabulary lesson, not a reading one. Okay. Okay. So after highlighting the blocking vocabulary, we moved to this activity. I gave you some questions before the text again, task before material, and I allowed you time to read the questions before the task, before the text again. So you need to read the questions. I need to ask you, what kind of reading is this? The first reading task was reading for just or skimming. This task is scanning, yes. Yes, Jihad, yes, Faya, it's reading for specific details. Reading for specific, it requires some in-depth reading. Okay, so the first task is just like looking for the main idea. The second reading task is scanning for specific details. Okay, so more in-depth reading. Yeah, okay, Summer, we're about to finish. Okay, so I gave you the text again. You answer, you check with your friends, and then you check your answers with the teacher. And again, if you notice during monitoring, students will not say we didn't get the answer for number 2. No, they will feel embarrassed. So if you notice that some students didn't get number 2, for example, you go back to the text, you highlight the answer, you show them the answer there. Okay. This is the next task here is a speaking task. So that's what we said in the beginning. We don't teach skills in isolation. Yeah, this is reading, listen, but it has to end with a productive skill. Either speaking or writing. Which one of them? Whatever suits your class, whatever suits your time. It could be both, by the way. So if you have enough time, you can have a speaking task and then a writing task. And as you see, the task, the active task is related to the reading somehow. Yes, it's a kind of integration and the practicing the language. So we had an input. It's time to produce some language. One last question before I wrap up my session for today. During the speaking or especially the speaking, if you as teachers hear some grammatical mistakes from students, like for example, advertisements is boring. So what will your reaction in this case? Some students make grammatical mistakes during the speaking activity in reading, listen. So what would you do? Can you tell me in the chat box? Would you correct the mistakes publicly, or would you let it go? Or what will be your action? Giving them feedback at the end. So you recommend correcting the mistake, Kaya? Collect and do collect feedback after the discussion. Okay. Give feedback. Okay, the feedback. So the feedback, you're gonna correct the grammar mistake or you're gonna ignore it. Delay the feedback. Excellent, Iman. Yes. If you give them feedback on the mistake on the spot, I guarantee that your students will not speak again. They will feel shy. They will be afraid if they make a mistake, they're going to be embarrassed in front of their peers. So the ideal thing to do here is one of two things. If you ask me, I will ignore the grammar mistake. I will not highlight it. I'll give them the feedback about the topic that they were talking about. because I'm not targeting verb to be, for example, to correct it. Yes, Emmanuel, I'm targeting the fluency. So I want them to have self-confidence and to practice the language in an understandable way, okay? So this is the end of my session, but if you allow me, Summer, to put this link.
Okay.
This is a feedback link. It won't take 2 minutes from everyone. I'd like everyone, please, to click on the link and give your feedback, couple of questions. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you, Summer. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you so much, Tori. Ron, do you have any thing to do? To say, sorry?
Just a second. Got to get
Okay.
my video on. Thank you, Tarek. That was very nice of you to walk us through some tasks like that. And I just want to re-emphasize the fact that we never teach skills alone. There's no way to teach reading just by itself. We always connect it to the other skills. It's really important that we as teachers know that there's no such thing as teaching just listening by itself or reading or speaking by itself. And I like the fact that you say, you know what, we do have to end with some productive skills when we're doing, you know, the passive skills or the receptive skills. You know, lead it to speaking and lead it to writing. This is great. This is the way we should be teaching skills. This is how I do it. This is the most productive way of doing it. So thank you very much for that, because we sometimes need to be reminded of that, you know, it's not as difficult as it might sound, okay? And
No,
we can
it's
work
not.
with, and we can work with any reading text that we find. It doesn't have to be from the book. And, you know, I just want to add another thing, and I did write that in the chat box.
Yeah.
Teaching reading is a great way to teach vocabulary. It's an implicit way of teaching grammar. You know, we don't have to teach grammar directly. And it's another way of teaching the lexical phrases that they need to learn, and sometimes idioms as well.
Yes.
So yeah, we have to remember all those things that come with reading. So again, one more time, thank you for taking the time to come today and share that with us. And Samar, do we have any questions in the box?
I have questions, but we have a lot of positive comments in the chat box.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
everyone.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
So I want to just say that that we're going to all meet in the main room now because we have some giveaways for the conference. This ends this part of the conference, and we want you all to move now to the main room. And there is a link in the chat box for you to go to the main room where we can all meet up. And Mohammed has some announcements for us. Okay, so Tarek, I hope that maybe I'll meet you when I come to Egypt.
Inshallah, inshallah. If I'm there, I'm gonna meet you because I'm in case A now. It would be nice to meet you.
Do you follow me on Facebook?
Yeah, now I'm a friend of yours on Facebook.
Okay, good.
Thank
And
you,
I always
Ron.
ask teachers to go there, where I share so much information that we as teachers can use to help improve our teaching practice in the classroom, find out more about what's going on with language learning and teaching, as well as just what's going on in the education world. Well, I see people are moving to the other room, and I'll meet you there, Tarek, in the other room.
Inshallah, okay. Inshallah.
All right, everybody, let's move to the other room. Grab that link.